Happy Monday, Sonder family. Welcome to your weekly setup. It's so good to see you this morning. I just dropped something. Hold on. I'm going to share that in a minute. I hope you all are staying warm. It's pretty chilly out there. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your facilitator this morning. So I am coming to you from the Dallas, Texas area. We have a pretty chilly day, but nothing like my co-facilitator, Jennifer Krippner, is having. She's in Minnesota. She's going to pop on and give you a good morning wave. You've got Team Jennifer on the call this morning. So your cameras are off, your mics are off. You can just sit. I hope maybe if you can, you're still in your jammies or you got those stretchy pants on, and just being cozy, trying to stay warm. It's so good to see you today. I feel like I had like a week off and I haven't, I'm kind of, and so Jennifer says she keeps her tree up with the lights on until February. I was asking if I'm the only one who still has stuff on. Oh, and thanks for this is an oldie necklace. It's like little buttons and it's just kind of fun. Thanks for noticing that, Stephanie. So we are going to get ready to set up. I feel like this is kind of the first real week of January because we had the holiday last week and it was kind of, so this is like our first get into the new year week. Maybe you saw some words that popped out at you on this first slide deck or the first slide of the deck with the January affirmation. Maybe there's some words in there. I see thriving, which I love. If you're still trying to choose a word for the year, maybe one of those words in that little fun puzzle there will jump out at you and you can use that. Okay, so make sure your chat is set to everyone. That way, because we do a lot of sharing during our time together via the chat. And that's the thing. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to access this as well as like 800 other socials. But the chats are not part of that replay mode. So I always love seeing our support and just the friendships that have happened virtually in our Sonder family through that chat. So that's how we will be communicating today. So make sure that your name says to everyone. If it says to host and panelists, sometimes that will only be available for Jen and for me to see. I love these words that y'all are coming up with. My goodness, you may end up using them for how you want to feel this week. I'm seeing a lot of our familiar Monday morning people. How about anybody new here for the first time? We would love to give you a big Silk and Sonder welcome. If this is your first social and you're here to kind of check it out. For me, this is my accountability group to make sure that I am using my journal. I'm taking time to set it up. We have a couple of new people. Welcome, Heather. Welcome, Chelsea. It's so good to see you. So this is like that appointment with self. You're sick. Okay. You were sick, so you're catching this one. Listen, these again are a great way to be accountable and to really get the very most out of your journal. I think these socials are such a special part of this whole Silk and Sonder journey and this idea of the journal. So good to see. Oh, and your first weekly setup. Awesome. Well, I have a lot of ideas to share with you all from Sonder Club, from one another. And so I'll be sharing those this morning as we go along. Now, if this is your first time, we always put the community guidelines on here just to remind you all that yes, we create safe spaces when we are together. And so that's really what most of these guidelines are about. Of course, you can ask questions about products, but really, if you're wanting to find out like what really works, a great place for that is Sonder Club because everybody can see that and you'll get good answers for that. So we ask you to kind of limit those product and accessory questions. Anytime you need any help with your Silk and Sonder product, if you're wondering like my journal said it's shipped, but I don't have it, you have any other kind of questions, hello@silkandsonder.com is our headquarters, kind of the help. So Anyhow, let's see here. Let's move on. Prosperity. Okay, so this is our new theme. I am loving, loving, loving. Oh, let me back up real quick. Susan says that her chat keeps defaulting to host. So if that happens, I don't know what kind of device you're on. Sometimes iPhones or tablets will do that, and I know it makes you crazy. You got to keep changing it back. I am actually on a MacBook, so I'm able, it holds it, but that could be the problem. With that defaulting back to whatever, Zoom is wonderful, but there are some little glitches we have found along the way. So prosperity, I am excited, excited, excited about prosperity. You guys, if you've been with me for a while, one of the things that I have worked on my whole adult life is this idea of coming from a sense of scarcity that was from my family of origin. And so my whole life I've worked on trying to overcome a mindset of scarcity, but also to find prosperity in all areas of my life. So I'm very excited about this. We did an abundance theme, I think, a year ago. I love how it aligns with January. And I'm sounding faint. Okay, well, Jennifer and I were meeting before this time, Krista, and my volume was a little strange. I don't know if our internet is funny. I'll try to be still and slow down. Maybe that will help a little bit. So we're going to start digging into this idea of prosperity through our mind map. That's going to be our first activity. We will do our rosebud thorn reflection, which is a staple of our morning setup or our weekly setups. And I do sound hollow and echoey. It might be something going on with my computer, and I do apologize. I will do some hard shutdowns when we are finished today. And then we're going to do our weekly setup pages. So if you are joining us for the first time, one of the bonuses about coming to a weekly setup is being able to dig deeper into the theme, and we have bonus prompts at each setup. So there's 4 weeks that we will be looking at prosperity through a different lens. Now, this is not content in your journal. This is bonus. So you're going to be invited to find a space in your journal to do this. As you can see, the word prosperity often conjures up the images of wealth and material success. However, true prosperity encompasses a much richer tapestry of human experience. And I think we are like the right audience for this mindset of looking at prosperity in ways that are not that wealth and material stuff. I think, this is so good for us. So the prompts that we're going to be delving deeper into for the next 4 weeks is going to help you kind of see how prosperity plays out in your life. So week number 1, and I've got an example of how I set my page up so you can kind of see. Week number 1, the question is, what does the word prosperity mean to you? Is it primarily about financial wealth? Is that something you might be working on to redefine it? Or does it encompass other aspects of your life as well? And so over here on the right side of this slide, I put the actual dictionary definition. Normally we have a definition page in our journal, but that was given to our little year in review space this month. So prosperity, according to the dictionary, is the condition of being successful or thriving, especially economic well-being. But I really want us to lean into the idea of thriving as we're looking at prosperity. So there's our question. And one of the things I wanted to ask you is, do you have a word of the year? Maybe you can take that word of the year and think about how that word will influence how you think about prosperity. Now, you're going to want to turn to a notes page. One of the tips we say is the last page in your journal, because it's really easy to find when you're looking for that page. Maybe you do this on that weekly scratch pad from week to week to week. You could use sticky notes. You could put it on a quote page, or maybe you have a little sidekick journal that this will go in. So I set mine up. This is what I dropped at the beginning. I keep an old tuna fish can lid in my desk. And I actually, because I love writing in the circles. I don't know why. It just makes me happy. So that's how I set mine up. I have 4 spaces for 4 weeks. And as I was thinking about what prosperity means to me, I did do it. Think about it through my word of the year, which is abide. And I was telling Jen, we just have some things with my husband's health coming up, and he's not moving quickly enough for me. And I need to just abide and be content in the day today. So abide has become my word of the year for 2025. So my answer was, to me, prosperity is living a life filled with meaningful connections. Prosperity is all about contentment and the ability to see goodness in all my life, connecting to all the things, the people, my hobbies, my passions. When I look at prosperity through the lens of abide, I can deeply embrace each moment with patience and grace. Prosperity flows from abiding in trust, love, and the warmth of my family and passions. So that's kind of the direction I took it. I'm going to give you some time to set up your mind map and start thinking about what prosperity means to you. And as you think about it, drop that in the chat if you have time, if you're comfortable sharing. Also, share your word of the year. Jennifer Navarro says health is her word of the year. And then Stephanie just shared, I heard on a podcast, the only form of perfection in the universe is a circle. I love that. So maybe I'm just going to always do circles on this page. So start thinking about this. I'll go back and forth between these slides while you work on it. I can't wait to see what you are sharing with us. Oh my goodness, the stuff in the chat is so good. You guys are awesome. I love the idea of thinking about your word of the year and how that can be paired up with this idea of prosperity. You might choose a word of the year that you learn how to spell correctly, like Trixie's buoyancy, to be light, to have that lightness in her life. You all are just amazing. I want, the Silk and Sonder quiz, a lot of you are saying you took that and you hit a word, but it may not have quite resonated. That's okay. It's a starting place. You kind of, as you sit, sometimes it's hard. You sit with yourself and just be quiet and be still for a minute, and then it'll kind of bubble up, maybe what you need for the year. And I love, if you've been with Silk and Sonder a long time and go think about some of the themes that we've had month to month. And maybe there was a theme that really, really resonated with you. You were like, I grew so much. I've shared before with you all that indulgence was that theme for me, that I still think about it. I still realize I deserve to be able to, have some indulgences in my life. And so that was something that I have worked on and worked for months and months and months now. So maybe next year my word might be indulgence for the year. I don't know. But yes, wonder, Carly, you're right. Wonder was such a good one. And Anne is asking where the Silk and Sonder quiz is to help you find your word of the year. So if Jennifer might be able to get that pulled up from our website. I think if you go to silkandsonder.com and you just put in word of the year quiz in the search, it'll come up for you. Oh, Jennifer, there it is. She dropped it in the chat. You're amazing, Jennifer. Thank you. So you can kind of get started that way. So you may still be working on this a little bit as you're thinking about prosperity and setting that up, and that's okay. We're going to go ahead and move on to our rosebud thorn reflection. So feel free to finish that prompt up, and of course come back next week to see what prompt number 2 is about prosperity. We're going to turn now to page 30. This is that weekly look back. That reflection over how did last week go? What do we want to bring forward? What are we celebrating? What are those roses, the things that went well? The big gratitude of the week could be your rose, a positive thing that happened to you. And then of course those buds, those things that are coming forth soon, something that you're looking forward to. What gives you hope? What are you thinking about, motivation wise? And then of course the thorns, because life is a balance of everything, and it's important to call out those thorns and claim them, and maybe we can put them on paper and leave them behind. Some thorns are always there, could be health related, and they don't really go away, but we're going to claim it. We're going to try to find the lesson in the thorn as we are, thinking about this reflection. For me, my roses, we went away. We got our family has a little cabin in Central Texas, and we got away after Christmas, and we went to some of the smaller towns in Texas, to their town squares, and saw Christmas lights, and it just kind of kept the magic going for a little while. That was definitely my rose. My bud is I'm part of a women's educational organization called Philanthropic Education Opportunities for Women. And we have a PEO retreat coming up this coming weekend, and I'm going to lead them in the stuff that we do. We're going to do a word of the year, and we're going to do a vision board, and I'm so excited about that. And then my thorn, and you may relate, my nutrition has been awful, and I've been feeling it. That holiday, those indulgences have come back to haunt me. So anyhow, that's what I'm doing this week. Those are my reflections, the things I'm thinking about. I'm going to put on a little bit of music. You can finish up your mind map prompt and work on this. Feel free to share in the chat. Let us celebrate your roses together. And, we always say, come as you are. And if you've got some thorns and you're just not feeling too rosy, that's okay. Drop it in the chat. Let us send you some virtual support. Put it out there. Let us help carry that load. And I'll be back to check in with you in just a moment. Thank you all for sharing in the chat. That was good work on that reflection. And I think this reflection is super important because we can take those roses and we can take those thorns and kind of see, that life is this balancing act, right? And sometimes it's a little more thorny than it is rosy. But we are reminded of the goodness in our life, but also, the tough stuff is there. You guys shared a lot of love in the chat for each other. I know I see that there are some, health issues. Those always, they health issues that are always there are tough. And so I'm glad that you were able just to share and know that you've got your Sonder community beside you. I know we're virtual, but I'm telling you, y'all are the best people I know. So I love this virtual community. So now let's take a look at our weekly planner, our setup for the week. We're going to be on pages 32 and 33 this week. And again, like I said, this is the whole like first really get going week in January. And we always start with that little space at the top that says, this week I want to feel. Now you may decide that you're going to take your word of the year and pop that word of the year in this space every single week. Or you might, put your word of the year in this space and then pair it with another way you want to feel so that you are really digging into that word of the year. I've got some examples here. I love the idea that someone did, they have their what they want to feel more of and less of. The duality stuff always really resonates with me. I don't know why I like that, but I love like when you're looking at the more and the less. So that they want to be more happy and carefree and less annoyed and tense. And it's donut stickers. So you can of course, use your stickers for this. A quote, one word of the year. I've got a little word cloud there for you. A sentence, like you see the one at the bottom, to be accomplished and at ease. How do you want to feel this week? Kate just dropped that she wants to feel satisfied. Jennifer King, capable, prepared. I know a lot of us were saying, the lack of motivation, like we got off of our rhythms and routines. That's a real thing. So we want to feel productive, healthy with it. It sounds like we're all trying to re-embrace that rhythm and routine of life this week. So we're going to now take that word and look at those major things that we want to accomplish this week. And y'all, I have found the sweetest Instagram account. It's called Wonderled Life. And I loved this graphic. It says, back to the grind. Nope. It's back to creating space in my day to dilly-dally. So there's time for everything. You need to rest, you need to dilly-dally, as well as look at goals. So just a little friendly reminder. Now, I want to encourage you to go flip back to page 8 and look at what you wrote in your stop, start, and continue box, and those boxes. And do those, or can those inform the goals that you set for the week? We tend to fill out these spaces and then we forget to go back and look at them and put them into play. So I'm going to encourage you to maybe start there for your goals. You may already have some other things that need to happen, but that's a really great way to sort of, set yourself up for your goals for the week. Here are a lot of examples from, like I said, our wonderful Sonder community. And so you can see, there's those feeling words, but then they go down to their goals. Now, look at the one kind of in the middle there. This person, instead of doing goals for the week, has put a quote that is going to be their compass. And so they're just going to kind of probably lean into their to-dos, but they're using a quote to sort of think about what they want their week to look like. You might want to divide your goals into categories like the one you see on the left, work, body, and mind. The one in the bottom middle there, it's what do I want to be? How do I want to be this week? And that Instagram account was Wonderled Life, Krista. And then I love this idea because look at this whole page. We've got the major goals have actually, she has one major goal. It is to unplug. Well, we all need to do that. But has given like a little bingo grid there of ways to unplug. So not just putting action behind that plan, right? To unplug. And then put unplug down in that habit and activity tracker. So really checking in with themselves for accountability. So I think that's just a beautiful idea. Here are some more examples of how you take those goals for your week and then you incorporate the to-dos to break it down and make those goals happen, tied directly into one another. Sometimes my goals are they're standalone goals, and then I have a to-do list, right? So it's a little bit different. Let's take a look at the to-do list, and I love this graphic. I'm crossing things off my to-do list. I didn't do them, but I just don't want them on my list anymore. Give yourself permission to go, this is not a priority, I'm gonna take it off, right? Sometimes we look at those to-do lists and we judge ourselves because we didn't get something done, but maybe there's a reason. That's data that you're looking at. I like to share this from time to time. I have like a big old to-do list. These are not time bound. This is just like the stuff that pops in my head, that will keep me awake at night. It goes here. Not time sensitive. It could be something that needs to be purchased at some point in the next few months. But I don't want to forget about it. Stuff like changing the AC filter, washing my makeup brushes. So I keep this list and then I move it. I cut it and move it to the next month. Sometimes I put this on my weekly to-dos. Sometimes I, find this is the information that I use to put on my weekly to-dos. Sometimes I just mark it off of this list. So that's just a little tip that I do. It kind of helps me because otherwise all this stuff is, taking over my brain. If the Eisenhower matrix is new to you, this is a great tool. If you have a long list of things to do and you're not sure where to start, I, for one, always start with the easy things that are probably not important. And so this is a way to take that to-do list and plug the items in so that you are doing your most urgent and important things first. And then you can maybe figure out how to delegate, get rid of, maybe delete altogether. It's a very good tool. I'm going to go back and forth between these slides while you work on these sections. We have ways of setting up your to-do list. It's fun to make a bingo out of it. That kind of gamifies it. Lots of these examples, excuse me, are set up in categories because our life has different places that need to-dos done. And so you'll see, don't do this instead, like the one up there in the very middle. A work and home to-do list. We're going to drop down to the bottom row. There's a Plano weekly priorities, renaming a to-do to priorities. A to-do list that has your self-care, your health, home, and then this person is doing a course. So, thinking about the different areas of your life for your to-dos. And then finally, we have some repurpose ideas. You could just put a sticker or have a gratitude, a quote, a to-be list, a ta-da list where you leave it blank and add the things that you actually did. I love this. Sometimes the best way to grow is to subtract. And there's a couple of examples of things that might go on your to-don't list, the things to get rid of. So I'll stop talking. I'm going to give you just a moment to work on your goals and your to-dos. Share in the chat what you're planning to do this week. I'll be back in to check with you in just a moment. good job setting up your goals and thinking about those to-dos for the week. Now we're going to drop down to our habits and activities. As Maya always says, our habities. Maya is one of the other facilitators that we work with. The habities. Now you've got that big habit tracker for your month, that wheel. And those are the things that we tend to do most days of the month. We're really trying to have those. But this one in the weekly can have some of those same habits, especially if perhaps, like someone said, I keep forgetting these appointments. Maybe they need to go in a couple of places so that your memory is jogged. But this weekly one can also be set up for the activities that are going on, right? Maybe you are picking up carpool, you have carpool duty on Tuesday and Thursday. So you put that in this space and you circle that. Pardon me. Another great little graphic from that wonder-led life, back to finding peace in simple rhythms. So perhaps we find a way to have some simple rhythms in our habities, our habits and activities. Wanted to just point out, here's some examples from y'all. Wanted to point out some things that you might find very helpful. The one at the very top, you see night walk with audiobook. That's called habit stacking. When you're going to do something, maybe the night walk is the habit and you want to maybe incorporate something new. So you've paired the audiobook with that. When you take a new habit and pair it with an old one, you're going to be more successful. So that's a great example. And then you can see also on that example, that person says eat well, and they've circled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They gave themselves Friday and Saturday off and then circled Sunday. So kind of indicating the days that they're going to be very mindful, but also have the balance of, just chilling out a little bit with that nutrition. You can set a goal for the number of times you want to do this, but you don't have to. Maybe it's just a straight tracker. You can see the one in the middle there that says eat the frog, go into town. So they're just their goal is they're just going to mark it when it happens. And so not keeping a goal. You also don't have to do every single day of the week. You know what your life brings you. Maybe you do give yourself the weekend off from some of these habits and activities. The one all the way over on the right in the middle, you can see they're tracking Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it's really about what you need. I want to point out the bottom middle one. That's kind of a gamification of doing those habits and activities. The 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1, kind of a countdown within those things that this person wants to do for the week. You might want to go look at page 9 where those January intentions that you set, how can they be incorporated into your weekly habits and activities? And of course, like I mentioned, you can look at that monthly habit tracker as well. There's some more examples. And then I have some little habits that I'll share these slides so that, if you're wanting to maybe incorporate something new, you can find some inspiration there. Let's work on this for a moment and I'll be back to check in. We'll do the next page. I love what Elizabeth shared in the chat, that her habits are connected to the dimensions of mental health recovery, and the categories are home, health, connection, purpose. And then she's added self-care, making it meaningful to her, what she needs in her life. I love those. Thank you for dropping that in there, Elizabeth. That's some powerful stuff. You guys, yeah. And Sarah, I love it. She says, I put these things, not glamorous, but necessary. And yeah, things like cleaning and making sure we're, getting good nutrition and all those grown-up things, taking our meds. Not glamorous, but so important to a whole healthy lifestyle. So now we're going to flip over to our next page, and y'all, I'm going to go through all of the sections on this page, show you a lot of examples, because everything you see, like you're going to see some things to repurpose the meal plan if you don't use it as a meal plan. But you may use your meal plan, and you may take some of the ideas you see as people have repurposed the meal plan. You may put that in your mind body health plan, or you may not use your shopping list as a shopping list, and you may put something there. So I'm going to show you all the examples, and then we will work on these sections together. So here is what that meal plan looks like. If it's used in some way for your nutritional needs, you can see that the one on the left is divided up by meals. The one in the middle is, there's all the food that's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And then someone else is going to use this as their macro tracker. So kind of depending on what you need in your life. Oftentimes this would be I change this up from time to time, but lots of times I just use it as kind of my leftover tracker, because I still cook like I have a big family, but it's just my husband who will be like looking at stuff going, when did we have this? So I'll, put my meals there, but it's more of a leftover tracker. But this space does get repurposed pretty heavily, and there is a whole list of some ideas, that might fit in your life. Kind of just depends on what's going on, right? So oftentimes, like in the spring, this is where I put my gardening stuff, because I'm a big gardener. So it changes up depending on the needs that I have. But there's some great examples of doing maybe a daily reflection, like the GLAD reflection, where you look at a gratitude. What did you learn? What did you accomplish? And what delighted you? Maybe there's mindful moments, thinking about slowing down, just like, did you dilly-dally today? And then just making note of one small thing in the day, kind of again, a little bit of a gratitude. We love the meal plan for my soul, and it's kind of a journal response. This could be where your to-do list goes, appointments, national day of, just to make the days a little bit fun. And so she's been using this as a daily check-in with herself. Now we're going to look at that little space, the mind body health plan. Again, there's my fun little sweet graphic, back to creating margins in my day for small joys. Our days are busy, but make sure that you're taking time for small joys. Some great things. And again, any of these could go into that meal plan. You could do a little journal prompt there. As you can see on the left, the top and bottom example are both like journal prompt, that you can, journal prompts that you can respond to as a reflection. Maybe just taking care of my mind, body, health through different things each day, like reading and stretching, sit-ups and walk, just breaking some things down. I love the alliteration there in the bottom middle, meatless Monday, TV free Tuesday, workout Wednesday. Maybe you put your daily affirmations in this space or on the meal plan. Look at that beautiful sticker and quote. So using that space just as that reminder, again, a little compass for your brain. We always love the idea of the reflection of I feel, and then what does that tell me I need? And so there's an example of that's all filled out. You could do this as a morning reflection. You could do this as an end of the day reflection. A lot of people have found lots of power in that and really addressing, and understanding how they're feeling and what they need. This could go really beautifully with your mood tracker. Very simple, like the one in the middle, some stickers of some ways they're going to move their body. Maybe this is a little bingo board and they're going to check it off when it happens. I love the idea of reflecting every day. How did I care for me? Like the one in the bottom left there. Like really making sure that you have given yourself those tiny little moments in the daytime. And then there again, another example, I'm going to do a daily unplug for an hour. And here are some of this is what that means. I switch everything off and I'm going to do no social media, no email, and no phone dings. So quieting that device in just 1 hour a day. And I love how big and pronounced that is. Again, some things to try on a daily basis, and you have a different focus, which I love this. So Monday's focus is self-care, Tuesday's is clean, Wednesday's focus is digital detox, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just a really nice way to take care of yourself in very small, gentle ways. And then that shopping list. I keep my shopping list on my phone and it's shared with my husband. So whoever's out can pick up whatever's there. So this is always a blank space for me. So it is repurposed oftentimes into a little bingo board. Pardon me. And the bingo board may be like the stuff I really don't want to do, those chores. But it's also packed in there with maybe some sweet treats. So it could be like sit down and read and drink a cup of tea, or go sit at the sewing machine for 30 minutes. Some of those fun reward things. Could be a chores list. Again, look at that list of what you could put in this space. And like I said, all of this page can be interchangeable. Maybe a little self-care bingo like you see at the bottom there. So, whatever you find that you're needing, you can use it as a shopping list. And you see someone has divided it up into groceries and pharmacy. So running those errands in two different spaces. And you could even take your phone and snap a snap a photo of your hard copy list. Sometimes it's nice to have that list existing on paper so you can recall when something happened. Different tasks of the day, weekly bingo. I love the one in the upper middle. Someone is going to check off when they do their daily affirmations and listen to the daily rituals, all about Sonder Club. So again, it's whatever you need. The one over there on the right was when my rhythm and routine of the night had gone off track, and I made a checklist for that to sort of get me back on track. So let's finish up this page and then we will close out our time together. Let us know if you repurpose, what you do, what you're putting in these spaces. right. So we've done, yes, the B side. I love that. Jennifer, I love, that you said you've been using the session as accountability to finish an application and making those appointments with yourself. And we're glad that you wanted to share that time with us. I do the coloring socials, and I always say, come, and you don't have to color, bring your other hobbies, but make sure you've made time for yourself. It's such a good way to do it, to come and show up at our Sonder community events. We love being together. So that final box there is, what are you loving right now? And you might want to think about it over the week and see, kind of do it as an end of the week reflection. I'm reading a sweet little book about, resting and recovery, and it's called Wintering, and I'm really enjoying that. So that's my I am loving for the week. You can drop what you are loving. Maybe you got a new product or something neat for Christmas, or that you can share with us. We would love to see your setup in the Sonder Club community. Those images are so powerful. We would love for you to share anything you're comfortable with sharing. A reminder that the beta version of this personal coaching is going to go away soon. So you might want to check this out. And I think they're starting to look at a pay what you can platform. I saw something on Instagram about that yesterday. So you might want to check that out. And then, of course, there's our playlist for the day. And just a reminder that you have a prosperous life. It's all about how we look at it. But I'll be back with you next Monday, and we'll be setting up, and I'm gonna have some pages of the weekly spreads in that session, so we can kind of look at how to set those up to work in our life. So until then, I'll see. I think we are coloring this week too. So if you have a hobby or something, join us for that coloring social. Make that appointment with yourself. And my goodness, I'll just see you soon. Have a great week. Thanks for being here.
Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are here. You're the nearest thing to heaven that I've seen. I'm on the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world.